You know what's really weird that we do? We almost eliminate somebody from a conversation by recapping their career, and the first thing we do is, well, did they win a championship? It's kind of weird. Like, we're having this discussion. Like, there's a lot of nuance that goes into winning a championship. We were having this discussion about Jalen Hurts. And, look, Jalen Hurts may or may not get back to a Super Bowl. And if he doesn't get back to a Super Bowl, you know when they recap his career, they're going to go, yeah, but he never won the big one. I mean, he was there, he got to one, but never won a Super Bowl. And that completely eliminates the part of the discussion, which is, yeah, but he was the best player on the field when he was in one. And his defense couldn't get a stop, and there were some other shenanigans that were going on, and maybe his defensive coordinator was, potentially flirting with the Arizona Cardinals during prep week and all the other stuff. Like, you recap somebody's career, and if you go to, did he ever win a championship, you eliminate everybody from the conversation right away. You got to add a little bit of nuance. It's like recapping a movie. You imagine if you were asked to recap a movie, you're like, I just saw one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. They said, oh, describe it to me, but make it quick. Okay, well, like this really smart guy goes to prison and because he's accused of killing his wife. And then when he gets there, he gets abused. He gets beat up a bunch. But he teaches all the guards and the warden how to do their taxes. And then when he escapes, he uses like this little hammer and he crawls through a wall and then ends up crawling through a tunnel of crap to get to freedom. And then once he does get free, he goes to this beach because he took the warden's money. And then his friend from prison finds him on this beach and they hug on the sand. All right. Yeah, maybe I'll check it out sometime. It's like Shawshank Redemption. It's like one of the great movies of all time. But if you just recapped it like that and didn't add any nuance and didn't add any detail and you just wanted to be quick about it, you'd write off one of the great films of all time. So I say all that to say this. Damian Lillard has requested a trade from the Portland Trail Blazers. Now, I'm not sitting here trying to compare the Portland Trail Blazer franchise as the tunnel of crap that Andy Dufresne had to crawl through to get to freedom. I'm not doing that. If you're doing that and you're thinking that, that's on you. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to be irresponsible and reckless and disrespectful to the fine folks of Portland listening on Rip City Radio. I'm not going to do that. If you're doing that, that's on you. But the point is, why do you think Damian Lillard's doing this? Because he wants to play for a winner. Right? Like that's the goal. Wants to win a championship. Okay, so if Damian Lillard goes to a place, and there's teams that are rumored that are out there, there's teams that are being discussed, if he goes to a place and still comes up short, is he eliminated from any conversation that involves all-time greats or eliminated from any conversation that involves the greatness of his career because he didn't win a championship? I mean, he tried. It's a lot of stuff that's got to go your way. He tried, but is any of that going to be kind of, baked into the discussion? Are we going to have any of that at all? Because part of the problem is so many of these players, I think, feel the pressure of, I've got to win a championship. That's what's missing here. I've got to win a championship. Look at Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant won 2 and still doesn't get credit for it. You imagine that? Still doesn't get credit. Guy won 2 titles. Best player on the floor. Both those championships. If he's healthy for the 3rd, they probably beat Toronto. And still doesn't get credit for it. And all of that was because Kevin Durant wanted to win a championship. He had been hearing his entire career, dude, you don't count unless you win a title. Your career is not justified. You're not validated as an all-time great or one of the great players in the league unless you win a championship. So he leaves a place where he, had been there his entire career. He goes to the place that's going to help him win that championship that he's got to win or else his career is not validated. He does it twice, still doesn't get credit for it. Like, it's weird that we do that. That we just recap somebody's career and sum up somebody's history just by talking about whether or not they won a championship. It's odd. And Damian Lillard requesting a trade from the Portland Trail Blazers is all about winning a championship. Now, he doesn't strike me as the type of person that would let anybody impact his decision, but that's what this decision's about. He's got to win a title. And there's no guarantees. Look, he could go to someplace else in the NBA. There's no guarantees that he's going to win a championship. Like, he could go to the Miami. Look, Miami's one of the teams that are being rumored. If we're going to have a real conversation about the Miami Heat, how do we know if Giannis isn't banged up for the first series in the playoffs? How do we know the Miami Heat are advancing past Milwaukee? It's not like they were favored. Like, how do we know? If Giannis doesn't suffer that back injury early, we really think, like, you know, the Miami Heat's going to cruise to a victory and it's going to, yeah, and they got work done after that. But there's a lot of things that go into this. You do need a lot of breaks. I mean, Toronto finally won a championship. Had been one of the contenders in the NBA, finally won a title. But, again, if you want to add some nuance to that title, you could talk about that Game 7 against Philly, the shot that kind of rattled around the toilet lid and then went in for Kawhi Leonard. That's like a bounce here, a quarter of an inch here, a fraction there. Then they get to the finals. Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant both get hurt. Like, if we're going to talk about it, like, let's add some nuance to the discussion. Like, that's part of this. So, yeah, Toronto finally won one. But you need a lot of stuff to go your way. And so when we have all these discussions about these players and their legacies and how great they are, it's just strange that we write off and eliminate people from the get-go if they don't have a championship. Like, if they don't have a title, no. Not looked at the same. Matt Ryan with the Atlanta Falcons. Matt Ryan was an MVP that year. Like you look at his year, I mean, just phenomenal performance, MVP, they go to a Super Bowl. And if you were to look back at Matt Ryan's career, not only do you look at his career and you write him off as, yeah, but he never won a Super Bowl, but you also add in, but not only did he not win a Super Bowl, it was one of the epic gag jobs we've ever seen in sports. They had a 28-3 lead, and they lost. Damn, that's a bad look for Matt Ryan. What? He didn't play defense. Like, he wasn't responsible for Julian Edelman catching a ball that was scraping the turf as it was falling to the ground. Like, that was it. Like, he didn't have any responsibility in overtime when the Patriots won a coin toss and went down the field and scored. That's not on him. But again, we look back at careers and we want to sum it up easy. We want to say, oh, this is what it is. Yeah, look at Damian Lillard. Look, I mean, if he doesn't count, not part of the conversation if he doesn't win a championship. Okay, so now he's making a move. Now he wants to go somewhere and win a championship. What if he gets to a title and never wins one? Charles Barkley got to a title. Left Philly, went to Phoenix, got to the NBA Finals, never won one. To this day, you can't go every other post-game show, NBA on TNT, without Shaq bringing up the fact that Barkley never won a title. It's just weird how we recap stuff. Well, yeah, I mean, listen, he's, like a really smart guy. But again, he teaches them all how to do their taxes, and he even talks one of the guards into letting his buddies have beer while they're redoing the roof of the prison. Yeah, okay, dude, I got other stuff to watch. Thank you, though. Yeah, I'm going to watch trash truck videos with my kid for another 6 hours. Maybe I'll check that out sometime. Like, if you just recap stuff quickly, you kind of miss out on a lot. And I feel like we do that with a lot of players and a lot of their legacies.